Previously, we came here and you promised us that there will be free, fair, and transparent election. Now that this particular incident happened, how disappointed are you?
Very well. Thank you very much. I am not that very much disappointed. If you look at elections throughout the world, they are the source of violence, they are the source of division among people. If you go to the United States of America, when Donald Trump won the first election, some allegations were made that the Russians were the one who rigged the election. You go to Guinea-Conakry, Senator Ballot was telling his supporters not to vote. But even then, it continues. The only disappointment I may have is I was thinking it would have been the election to proceed and investigations to be carried out. So when the investigations are completed and they found us wanting, and they found that the election really it was not free and fair, then the action that is taken today could have been taken. But the management, they have the final say. They decide maybe perhaps this is the best to solve this problem. So they decided to postpone it.
Can you please tell us the reason why this election is postponed?
Thank you so much. As per my knowledge, the STA election 2020 has been cancelled for the meantime until further notice. As a team that operates under democratic principle, democratic tenets, good governance and best practices, yesterday, few hours before the election, we received audio and ballot papers that are circulating, original ballot papers that's supposed to be used today during the election. We said that should not happen. For free, fair, credible election to happen in an institution or anywhere around the globe, the election or the ballot papers should remain secret and they should remain confidential and they should not be out. When we saw them, we immediately write a letter to the EC to also put to their attention that we have seen the ballot papers are circulating prior before the election. We want them to do independent investigation to ensure that they clarify how, when, and where those the ballot papers come from, so that the students can have credibility on the EC, so that they can conduct free, fair, a credible election, that there will be no doubt and both camps will accept the results that are coming. But also us getting the ballot papers that are coming from our opponents shows that to us at this moment the election, if we go ahead, it will not be free, fair and credible, because people can do manipulation. They can go and print over those papers because they are the same papers that will be used today during the election day. So that was the reason why we wrote to the EC, we also wrote to the admin to boycott the election, to follow up due protocols, rule of law, good governance, as we operate under that principle.
I was expecting this since at the beginning because the camp that is protesting today, they have used many tactics not to participate in election. One, we were denied the use of ballot papers that are in the custody of their party, the party they have, that is the main union, because the main union and the ones that are protesting right now, they are all in the same party. So the electoral materials are in their custody. I have tried my level best. They did not give us the ballot drums. So what I know now is that hence they realize that we have secured the ballot drums. The only thing they can do is to find faults. But what happened here has been happening, but that never stopped the election.
When I was sent a letter yesterday, most of my executive members were a bit engaged. Some of them have other commitment out there. So I took it as a mandate that I should come early in the morning and see what is happening in the campus. So when I reached at the campus, I had the other party, that is coalition, are saying that some papers, that is the electoral process papers and stuff like that, I don't know how to in fact put those kind of papers. So they says that they were leaked since yesterday, and the opposing party are using those papers to sensitize their followers. We believe that is not justice and it's not fair to them. If that should have come from the EC, it should also be given to the other camp, meaning two camps of it should also have those two papers, you understand? Meaning while you are sensitizing your followers, the other camp will also use it as an advantage to sensitize their followers. But they claim that those papers were given to one camp, which they believe that is not fair. And they in fact thought of the idea in going to the polling station and ensure that they drag out the ballot boxes, which I believe that was not right and it should not be done in front of me. Because if that action was committed, then the credibility of the union will be zero. So I took so firm to ensure that I meet with the admin. I calmed them down in the office and I told them that I'm your Assistant Secretary General and I will make sure by all means I'll reach out to the admin and see how we can resolve this matter amicably. And they also gave me a listening ear, is where I reached out to the admin as the union executive on behalf of the 49th Executive Council. I reached out to the administration. They gave me a listening ear. I met them in a management meeting, but thank God they were able to give me a listening ear. I raised the concern. It was so much so they take it as a serious concern rather. So they came out, they leave the management meeting, they respond to me, they ask if I can find out the EC.
Yesterday, we sent an audio, to be precise, to myself. I record an audio and share it across all the WhatsApp platform. So from there, a complaint was lodged to the electoral committee, that is the EC. So at that night, they called me to ask if I was the one who recorded that audio, accompanied with a ballot box token, which I completely denied. I sent an audio, but the ballot token that they said was never accompanied by my audio. So I have no idea how they get those tokens. So we later see a press release from them that the other camp, that is Team Coalition, that they are boycotting the election from today, that they are not going to take part into the election. So from there, we later received another message or another dispatch from the electoral committee, that is the EC, that today the election will take place, that students should come and then vote. So when you come in the morning, students were here on queue voting until 11:40 something. I cannot remember exactly. That we receive and unfortunate information that the VC asked the electoral committee to stop the election process till further notice. So we are still waiting on the feedback from the EC. Now again 6 o'clock, because that will be the closing time. So from there, Team Webs as a camp, we will see what we will take again from there. Thank you very much.
When you talk about the way the ballot papers were circulating, you want to know whether this was a normal procedure, that if any election is about to take place for the sake of enlightening the voters, that they will normally release a video to talk to them about the ways and means to vote during the election day. Was it a normal procedure?
Thank you so much. It's a normal procedure to sensitize the students, particularly the civic chapter, how the students should vote. But the way it usually happens is that they use the previous election, their pictures, and sensitize the students, not the current pictures, ballot papers that we are going to use. This time around, that is what brings suspicious. That is what make us to question the credibility of the election. If at all it was left only on the sensitization, we will not question. But here, the sensitization have been done using the ballot papers that we should use today to vote during the election. And it was also sent in WhatsApp pages. Sensitization can be done within classes, but it should not be done you sharing papers, ballot papers, and then other individual utilizing that, saying that you vote for my people from top to bottom. That shows that the election, as it happened or as it stands, we cannot go by it, because this is not normal procedure, and it does not usually happen like that in this University of Education, the Gambia, and even outside, because we all know how election operates. Elections should operate on confidentiality. People should go and vote. Free, fair elections should happen without anybody pressurizing somebody or without somebody disclosing critical information that the issue should keep at themselves without releasing into giving it to any individual.
We were informed that it was the administration that postponed this particular election. Did they engage you first before coming to this conclusion?
Yes, thank you very much. I think all the protocols that they followed, personally to me, it wasn't on track. Could you imagine this is UEG STA election? Even the president of the STA was not informed. Personally, I was the one who put him on alert that this is what is happening, because I received a call from EC chairman that, okay, these people, they have summoned you people to the VC's office for you to come and answer to this call. So from there, I was there and I saw the SU, that is GCSU members, almost 2 to 3 people, they were there plus the other camp, their campaign manager, the deputy campaign manager, and some of their sympathizers. So I asked myself if I am to go there alone personally, meaning I am not following the protocols. So I consulted the president to know if he is aware of such. So he said no, he was not aware. Then I asked him to come and then see how best he is going to join this meeting. And later, they come and they ask the other camp, that is the team coalition. They call their two campaign managers, they call the SU members, and they call the EC members. I was there in the midst of them, so they ignored me. They never called for my attention. So they left me behind, and then they went in to have the meeting. So from there, I asked the EC chairman, I said, personally, you called me to come and attend this meeting. So hence, they called these people, and they didn't call me. Is it okay for me to go? He said, yes, you can go. So that's how I excused myself. And then from there, I come and then I joined the people to continue coordinating the election.
I'm not trying to be biased. I do not belong to any political camp. I'm standing as an independent and a student leader where I'm standing right now. I'm speaking to the students as a student leader, as your assistant secretary general. So whatsoever I'm going to say here, you can hold me accountable. I will say whatsoever I'm going to say is going to be very, very clear. So the selection was done based on their executive because we were not put through. So even the review of their constitution was automatically wrong. You cannot go ahead reviewing constitution and undermine. You don't inform. You don't serve, or you don't drop a single letter to the GCSU executive to notify them that yes, we are going for constitutional review. So after reviewing, even if they are not going to put us through the process, but after reviewing, they should take that constitution and bring it back. But now, after they have reviewed everything, when we get to the admin acknowledge that now the work that they have carried out cannot just be thrown into the dustbin like that. We acknowledge that it's okay, but now the constitution is going to stand, let it stand. But the new issue that they formed, they do not have experience. So to avoid violence in future and problems like this, let them work with the old EC, the ones that have already get experience. So those one will have guided, who will have get to the stage that we are in today. But those protocols were not observed. They believe that they can stand and do everything on their own, and this is what they have been doing at the beginning of everything. But I believe from now on, we'll involve or we'll talk to the admin and see a way forward that the union as an independent body to come out with it all easy and stand to conduct, because as long as the sub-association and its executive cannot manage the problems or the conflicts that are arising within their association, then we, the student union body, will come out, will reach out to the admin to ensure that we see a way forward in organizing an EC and a committee that will take care and conduct this election that is being postponed today.
Some of them complain that they are not happy with the way the EC chair was selected. Can you please take us through how you selected the EC chair?
Thank you so much for that question. At least every 5 years, the Student Teacher Association should review its constitution, and that happened in my tenure. For that being the case, we reviewed the constitution together with the students, and there was a provision, a clause there that the Student Teachers Association, being the biggest association within the University of Education, the Gambia, formerly Gambia College, should have its own electoral commission. It was approved and then adopted as well. So when the time came for the creation of the electoral commission, a communique was made and shared to all the 16 platforms of the student teachers, and that it reads, all the interested students should apply, irrespective of your program of study, your ethnicity, your race, your gender. They are all qualified to apply. Applications were made, students apply via the Google link, and the secretary of the 9th Executive Council, Mr. Abakari Kamara, is the custodian and given me the feedback. I think 27 people applied. 27 students applied, and but they were all invited for the interviews. Unfortunately, only 15 turned out for the interview. So out of the 15 students that came for the EC interview, they were all interviewed rigorously and robustly to ensure that they fit the position. And that was done. One was dropped, 14 were selected, because according to the provision, the EC should compose of 14, that is executive members.
Afternoon, viewers. This is Fine TV Gambia. We are back once again at the UEG. Today is supposed to be the election day of UEG STA, but to our surprise, we are informed that the election has been postponed due to some setback, and we'll be having an interview with the EC chair to know what exactly happened. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you very much, Fine TV. Good afternoon, viewers. I am Alhaji S. Diallo, the Electoral Commission chairperson for the 2026 University of Education Student Teachers Association election.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. We learned that today's election has been postponed. Can you take us through the reason why they have postponed the election, and who are the body behind postponing this election?
Thank you very much. Before I go further, I have to thank God by saying Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin 3 times. You are very right. The election has been postponed by the highest authority in the university, that is the Vice Chancellor, following allegations by a political party that they have seen the ballot papers viral, posted by the campaign manager of the other team, trying to sensitize the voters on how to mark or vote for a particular candidate of their choice. When that happened, around 9 p.m., they sent a copy of the ballot paper and the voice note trying to educate the voters. When I received it from them, well, I did not just respond because I have to make my finding to see the gravity of that allegation. The evidence brought before me, I try to consult my commission members, also try to examine the exhibit that were brought before me or that were sent to me. When I realized, I was observing, going through them, but all of a sudden, I received another information from the campaign manager of the complaining party, informing that for them they have already taken decision and they have boycotted the election. And to me, that would be Memo Judex in Kasasua. It means you want to be a judge in your own case. And the Independent Electoral Commission of the Student Teachers Association gave me the power to conduct this election to the best of my ability. When that message was said, and I saw it been said in various groups, around 2 a.m., I also shared a dispatch to inform students that the election is going to hold. But prior to that, I communicated with them, and so in telling them that, well, what was said has marks on both sides of the paper. We have 2 candidates whose name were ticked under the coalition, that is their team, the complainant, and the other team also, we have 2 ticks marks on their side. I say, so that shows that the paper you are seeing was used for only to sensitize voters to know that this is the way they are going to vote, so that we will not be having invalid votes. Because this time around, due to the number of candidates we have almost 28 candidates. It means we are using back and front and back of the paper. So it means if voters are not well sensitized about that, others may just choose to vote the ones in front, and they will not turn the paper to vote for the other candidates. You understand? But I assured them on the phone that that has nothing to do with the election's credibility. We have laid down procedures. All polling booths or polling rooms, we will take charge or take to know the number of ballot papers that are to be given, and also after voting we are going to count the remaining ballot papers and how many voted during the election, and the number will be assigned. I told them if we've realized that the number of ballot papers given to each polling station is more than the number that voted, then we are going to subtract those ballot papers to ensure that the election is free, fair, and transparent. So in the morning today, when I came in the office, they took me to a senior lecturer. We have discussions. I explained everything, but they still maintain their ground that for them they are boycotting the election. They are not going to take part in the election, and they even started demanding for their money. But still now, we are proceeding with the election. Almost 2 to 3 hours later, they went further to the management of the university. They went to the vice chancellery, and we were called. I explained. So the decision to postpone the election came from the vice chancellor of the university in the interest of peace. That's why it was postponed until further notice. All I know about it is that.
Okay. That video you were talking about, was that part of your campaign procedures that if any election comes, you will use a video to enlighten people about how they should vote during the election day?
Thank you very much. In election is not only the electoral commission. We have stakeholders in election, and in the University of Education, we have the civic chapter and also peace ambassadors. Usually, every election they will take samples to enlighten or to educate the electorate, and the samples that they used to use are the same samples that will be found on the ballot paper. So it's the same. We just call it sample because it is something that is used, but it's not going to be used on election day. But it's the same thing. The pictures you'll be having on their sample is the same thing you'll be having on the ballot paper, and it's the same thing that was going on. It was not even the EC that we are sending videos, but the papers, the two paper from the ballot papers, we are giving as samples so that people will understand that you have to vote back and front. But those papers, even them their party, we have two parties, two of their people whose names were marked, and the other camp also they have two whose names were marked. So I told them that even by examining the exhibit here, you will realize that this was for sensitization. Because if it was to put one party at advantage, I don't think you will mark your opponent correct. I don't think you will do that. And we are not voting online. We are using ballot papers. So I don't understand why the other camp see this as electoral rigging or a malpractice. I don't understand why they see it in that way. But as you just asked, it is a norm here. Whenever elections are coming, we used to have the civic chapter sensitizing people, and the ballot papers they used to sensitize the samples are the same thing that we are going to have on the ballot papers, and it's the same thing that occurred this time around. Yeah, that is the way we used to do it here. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and also what make it this year's to be different is that because the number we have 28 people, so it cannot all fit on one front side, so we have to take it to the other side also. So it is going to be front and back. That make this other election to be unique because of the number of portfolios. So that means we need to have the exact ballot paper to show it to the people, because the previous ones it was only the front, the front. No, the back was not there. But this time around, we have the front and back, and we cannot do that without printing the ballot paper and showing them this is the way to you are going to vote. Yeah, that's what happens. Yeah.
Previously, we came here and you promised us that there will be free, fair, and transparent election. And now that this particular incident happened, how disappointed are you?
Very well. Thank you very much. I am not that very much disappointed. If you look at elections throughout the world, they are the source of violence, they are the source of division among people. If you go to the United States of America, when Donald Trump won the first election, some allegations were made that the Russians were the one who rigged the election. You go to Guinea-Conakry, Senator Ballot was telling his supporters not to vote, but even then it continues. The only disappointment I may have is I was thinking it would have been the election to proceed and investigations to be carried out. So when the investigations are completed and they found us wanting, and they found that the election really it was not free and fair, then the action that is taken today could have been taken. But the management, they have the final say. They decide maybe perhaps this is the best to solve this problem. So they decided to postpone it. But I am not that very much disappointed, and it is something that is always expected in election, because the losing side always would employ tactics at least to inculcate in the minds of the people that, well, even if you are going to lose, it means that the election was rigged. This is the ideology politicians use in almost all elections. the ones who are not favored to win, they will always use tactics to play with the minds of the electorate and the minds of the people to show that yes, if you see we are not winning, it's because the IEC was not independent, it was not free. So that to me, it is not something big. Though this other one is exceptional because I believe this is for the first time we are experiencing this. It's a very big surprise to the electorates, to the candidates who are hoping to win and celebrate their victory. But as I said, this is the life. As we move on, we'll be seeing many unprecedented actions being taken. Yeah, but really, to my side, I am not that very much disappointed because I was expecting this since at the beginning. Because the camp that is protesting today, they have use many tactics not to participate in election. One, we were denied the use of ballot papers that are in the custody of their party, the party they have, that is the main union. Because the main union and the ones that are protesting right now, they are all in the same party. So the electoral materials are in their custody. I have tried my level best. They did not give us the ballot drums. So what I know now is that hence they realize that we have secured the ballot drums. The only thing they can do is to find faults. But what happened here has been happening, but that never stopped the election. So I just believe that perhaps they were not very much prepared to enter in the election, or they were not fully ready, or they did not have the courage to face the challenge of their opponent. So I believe it is a manipulation to manipulate the whole issue to save themselves or to buy time. I believe that is the main cause of what we are facing today. But it is not something that was not happening before. People were sensitizing, and I believe also as government students, we believe political parties, they have a right to sensitize their electorates. You can, unless if they tell me that perhaps their campaign manager was not competent enough to use the strategies the other camp was also doing to talk to the electorate to canvass vote for them. Yeah, that's what I know. Thank you.
Now coming down to the administration,
Yeah.
how were they able to cancel this thing? Did they just come and fine you while you were voting, and they tell you that you must cancel this thing, or they call both parties together with the EC to talk to you about ways and means to postpone the election till further notice?
Thank you very much. The complainants, they wrote and they copied all stakeholders. That is, they copied me and the main union, they copied lecturers and I think the admin. And later on, as the polls were on progressing, my attention was called and we had a tete-a-tete with them. They listened to both sides. So they decided that the election should be postponed until further notice. They made it very clear, in the interest of peace and unity, as we are all students, nothing should divide us. I think in the best interest of peace, they decided to postpone it until further notice. According to them, a panel is set up to investigate what had happened. So once that panel has submitted their findings, then they will get back to us to proceed with the election. Yeah, that's what happened.
Okay. Now, did they also assure you that there will be election as soon as possible? And if they do, how will you assure the students that there will be free, fair, and transparent election once they give you a chance to conduct it again?
Thank you very much. In any situation, you have to use your SWOT analysis, that is your strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunities, and your threats. So I think the only issue that would be put into consideration, we will just take it from where it stops. So if the complaint was during the sensitization, whether the campaign managers on both sides would use the ballot papers, I think that is something that is well noted. So in the future, it means all those issues will be addressed. But one thing I know, in elections, complaints and accusing the electoral commission is normal. It has been happening in the Gambia. There are a lot of electoral petitions that has been filed in our high court. So that is very normal because all the time the losing candidate must look at one side to hang on, at least to validate their prominence or their political power. So that is always normal anyway. But we are not given a fixed date, but we are assured that they have taken this decision to make sure that they put the house in order so that everything, there'll be no doubt, nobody, because what happened was they wanted to at least clear every doubt in the electoral process. Hence, the other opponents felt that no, the other party had advantage over them. I believe perhaps that's why the admin deem it necessary to hold on the election until they make a thorough investigation and know what has happened, and that will be fixed. And hence, they are done with that. They will get back to us. The election continues.
And finally, what will be your final message to the general student body of the UEG, and also any other message to the viewers?
Thank you very much. My final message to my fellow students would be they all attest since the beginning of this process. We have tried and tried. I think one of the most successful electoral commission the college ever formed. If you by looking at our convention, it was fantabulous. You were not here, but those who were here, the turnout we secured was the highest in history. For the past 5 years, we never experienced such turnout. So that is a big plus for me. And also, one of the greatest strengths I had was I was able to make both parties to be involved directly with the commission, and so that every matter that comes in, we lay down procedures. How can we solve it amicably? But I just see this thing, what happened today, as something that was planned based on any reason best known to them. But from my end, I know that this was well planned, that this election must not and will not, and it has not happened today. Because since at the beginning, from denial for us to use the ballot drums, that send the signal to me that maybe they are not well prepared to enter into this election. So they were looking for any slightest opportunity to lean on, at least for this election to be postponed. But what I would like to tell the viewers and the nation is that this is very normal. It is not something that never happened. Perhaps election to begin and it stopped, perhaps, unless I dig history. But I think this is going to be the first I have ever witnessed in this country. No matter what, the election should proceed. Those who are not happy, they can gather their evidence and go to any higher authority and for the matter to be addressed. But as I always say, even the advanced nations, we do receive complaints. One party will be saying that no, we were not treated fairly. You go to Uganda, Bobi Wine is saying that no, Museveni is old, the elections were rigged. You go to Cameroon, we have Issa Chiroma in the Gambia because of elections. So it is very normal. To me, I don't see it anyway, and I'm not offended. I just know that this is the destiny that is given. And I have to thank the whole student body, the campaign managers, the star executive for working with us during this difficult moment. The only thing that makes me so sad, and I will always remember that makes me to cry, we have lost our credit hours that we should have done with our lecturers. People spent thousands for this election. T-shirts were printed. The ballot drums we are using, we took them from Faraba to come here. So a lot of resources were spent for this election to happen. People were happy, willing to celebrate their candidates. So it's a very big disappointment on the side of the electorates. So that's what makes me feel so sad. This is not our wish. I would have wanted to celebrate us to be the best chairman. But this is destiny, that what Allah has decided. Maybe this is best for me, it is best for my team, it is best for everybody. So I take it in good faith. It is not personal, because I always tell the candidates, I have no personal interest in this election. I just know that I have the competence and I have exuded that. Everybody witnessed that. Well, the man knows what he is doing. Since 2011, I have been in elections and I have been participating in national elections. Even 2016, the most contentious, I was also a presiding officer. We were well trained by the IEC, and I believe that I have shown that maturity throughout the process. So what happened today is a big disappointment, but we have to take it in good faith. This is not what we have prayed for, but it is a decision from the highest authority. So we cannot do anything but to comply with that. And I'm urging all electorates, let them not take this personal. We will follow due process. with respect, with dignity, and with humility, as they are the ones who are leading us today in this great university. The VC made it very clear. He is not in favor of anybody, but only the truth. So, and we all accepted that, and we are moving. Anytime they call upon, then we will also see which stand we are going to take in the future. Yeah.
Viewers, that was the easy chair, and we'll try our best to speak to both the camps. So please stay connected as we proceed with the program.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Welcome back once again, viewers. Like we told you, today is supposed to be the election day for UAG Star, but to our own surprise, it has been postponed. And it is important as media platform for us to be impartial, that is to be balanced. This is why after interviewing the EC chair, we want to interview both the parties to know actually what is happening. So here we are with the campaign manager for the coalition. To allow him to introduce himself, then questions will follow. Sir, you are welcome. Honorable.
Thank you so much, Fine TV. Sincere greetings to each and every one of you, and I also thank you people for coming. Thank the fellow of the students, militants, and supporters within the University of Education, the Gambia. I am Alassane Ali, the campaign manager for Team Coalition 2026 ST election.
Thank you so much, Honorable. Anyway, we are informed that the STA election that's supposed to take place today has been postponed till further notice. Can you please tell us the reason why this election is postponed?
Thank you so much. As per my knowledge, the STA election 2020 has been cancelled for the meantime until further notice. As a team that operates under democratic principle, democratic tenets, good governance, and best practices, yesterday, few hours before the election, we received audio and ballot papers that are circulating, original ballot papers that's supposed to be used today during the election. We said that should not happen. For free, fair, credible election to happen in an institution or anywhere around the globe, the election or the ballot papers should remain secret, and they should remain confidential, and they should not be out. When we saw them, we immediately write a letter to the EC to also put to their attention that we have seen the ballot papers are circulating prior before the election. We want them to do independent investigation to ensure that they clarify how, when, and where those the ballot papers come from, so that the students can have credibility on the EC, so that they can conduct free, fair, a credible election, that there will be no doubt and both camps will accept the results that are coming. But also us getting the ballot papers that are coming from our opponents shows that to us at this moment the election, if we go ahead, it will not be free, fair, and credible, because people can do manipulation. They can go and print over those papers, because they are the same papers that will be used today during the election day. So that was the reason why we wrote to the EC, we also wrote to the admin to boycott the election, to follow up due protocols, rule of law, good governance, as we operate under that principle.
When we talk about the way the ballot papers were circulating, we want to know whether this was a normal procedure, that if any election is about to take place, for the sake of enlightening the voters, that they will normally release a video to talk to them about the ways and means to vote during the election day. Was it a normal procedure?
Thank you so much. It's a normal procedure to sensitize the students, particularly the civic chapter, how the students should vote. But the way it usually happens is that they use the previous election, their pictures, and sensitize the students, not the current pictures, ballot papers that we are going to use. This time around, that is what brings suspicious. That is what make us to question the credibility of the election. If at all it was left only on the sensitization, we will not question. But here, the sensitization have been done using the ballot papers that we should use today to vote during the election. And it was also sent in WhatsApp pages. Sensitization can be done within classes, but it should not be done you sharing papers, ballot papers, and then other individual utilizing that, saying that you vote for my people from top to bottom. That shows that the election as it happened or as it stands, we cannot go by it, because this is not normal procedure, and it does not usually happen like that in this University of Education, the Gambia, and even outside, because we all know how election operates. Elections should operate on confidentiality. People should go and vote. Free, fair elections should happen without anybody pressurizing somebody or without somebody disclosing critical information that the EC should keep at themselves without releasing into giving it to any individual.
So if I can hear you very well, you were saying that they were using the current aspiring candidates' pictures and their details to do the sensitization.
Exactly, they were using that. The current candidates that are to contest for this election were the people that were used, and it's original ballot papers, and the EC can also attest to that. So that is what brings suspicions. And in anywhere you talk about it, in a civilized democratic society and institution, people will surely tell you that this is not normal in democracy, and it's not normal in democratic dispensation for rule of law to prevail in that particular society.
Okay, what are some of the mechanisms that you use before you reach at the main body, that is the vice chancellor, is it a vice principal, and others, to inform them about this thing? Do you use other means before going to them straight?
We use different means because we believe in due process, and that is what is important, and that is what Team Coalition operates under. That's why we said in justice anywhere, it's a threat to justice everywhere. We follow due protocol. The moment we saw this information circulating, we immediately write a message to the EC so that they can be aware of what is happening, and then we also put in our criteria that they should handle this with serious urgency, and they should also mount immediate investigation and bring out the individual who leaked this particular ballot papers, so that their credibility can be restored during this election. From there also, later tonight, we wait until around 1-3 at night, and then we didn't get any response from the EC. We immediately also copy the various authorities within the University of Education, the Gambia, to ensure that we are law abiding, to ensure that we follow due process, because that's what we believe in, because we operate under democratic principles and tenets. So in everything you are doing, you must follow due process, and that is what Team Coalition is operating under.
So after talking about transparency, accountability during the elections, so I want to know, what are you people advocating for? What do you think should be done if they are to hold another election again? What do you think should be put in place?
What we want to be put in place, if we are to go back to the polls, is to ensure that what happened this time around doesn't happen, because we are not echoing our sentiment just for our selfish interest, but we are echoing this for generation even yet unborn and those that will come to this institution, so that we can avoid a replica of such action, because it undermines democracy, it undermines a rule of law, it also undermines credible election. So that's why we said we don't want such to happen again. We want an EC that will be independent, an EC that will not leak ballot papers prior before the election. So if we are to go back to the polls, one condition or two is there, that is this EC, we need to look into them. They have to bring in another EC that will be independent, that will also ensure that there is credibility in the election process, because already the credibility of the election system has been jeopardized based on the evidences that we have seen, and then the EC doesn't take any stringent action against that. So if we are to go back to the polls, the EC have to be changed, and then the next EC that is coming must be free from political control and must also be independent and must be ready to be independent and fair without siding with anybody and without releasing the ballot papers to any camp or any individual to ensure impartiality.
Okay. Now, before we draw down the curtains here, we would like you to share your final message to the general student body.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kekuta, for coming and interviewing us. Thank you so much to the management and staffs of Fine TV. I will not do justice if I don't thank them. They have always stood for the students, and we thank you for that. Final message to the militant supporters of Team Coalition. I thank you and seize this opportunity to tell you that the discipline, the decorum that you have maintained throughout this difficult time, let's continue that and be law-abiding individual as we operate under that, and then let us not do anything that will go against the laws of the University of Education. Let's be law-abiding and let's also maintain decorum. Let's maintain peace and order and tranquility to ensure that we protect the University of Education so that we can have a credible election, free and fair and independent, where everybody will know that the election reflects the wishes of the students and power belongs to the students. And I thank you all. We rise with Tunkara, we win with coalition. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. The Mandinka said, if you are ashamed of the eye, you cannot dissect the head. We are ready to fight to ensure that there is a credibility in the election system and help to restore confidence in our election system and represent the wishes and the aspiration of the students. It's because of you, the students, militants and supporters of Team Coalition, today we are standing here talking to ensure that some of the challenges that we are facing are immediately addressed on the dynamic and visionary leadership of Team Coalition. On that note, I thank you all. Allah barka bake on Jarama.
Yes, the same question will be also thrown at you. Okay. We realize that the election has been postponed. When all of us were expecting that it's supposed to take place today. So, what do you know about this?
Okay, Assalamu alaikum everyone who is out there watching. First and foremost, I would love to introduce myself. I'm Alassana Davis Ba, the Assistant Secretary General of the Gambia College Student Union, that is the 43rd Executive Council. Due to what have transpired from yesterday to today, is something that has never happened in the history of the Gambia College. But as a student leader and a concerned student, I took it as a mandatory upon me that today early morning I need to get to the campus and see what is happening in the campus here. Because when it comes to this election that was just being postponed not long ago, it's a sub-association election. Now, if it comes to the Gambia College, we have 4 sister schools. We have the School of Art and Public Health, Sonamsa, and Agriculture. And these schools, or these 4 schools, or these 4 sister schools are all relying on the union. So it's a duty upon the union to ensure that if matters cannot regulate it based on the stage of the sub-association, then the union ought to step up and ensure that they help and settle the matter that is confronting a particular association. When I was sent a letter yesterday, most of my executive members were a bit engaged. Some of them have other commitment out there. So I took it as a mandatory that I should come early in the morning and see what is happening in the campus. So when I reached at the campus, I had the other party, that is coalition, are saying that some papers, that is the electoral process papers and stuff like that, I don't know how to in fact put those kind of papers. So they says that they were leaked since yesterday, and the opposing party are using those papers to sensitize their followers. We believe that it's not justice and it's not fair to them. If that should have come from the EC, it should also be given to the other camp, meaning 2 camps of it should also have those 2 papers, you understand? Meaning while you are sensitizing your followers, the other camp will also use it as an advantage to sensitize their followers. But they claim that those papers were given to one camp, which they believe that is not fair. And they in fact thought of the idea in going to the polling station and ensure that they drag out the ballot boxes, which I believe that was not right and it should not be done in front of me. Because if that action was committed, then the credibility of the union will be 0. So I took so firm to ensure that I meet with the admin. I calmed them down in the office and I told them that I'm your Assistant Secretary General, and I will make sure by all means I'll reach out to the admin and see how we can resolve this matter amicably. And they also gave me a listening ear. Is where I reach out to the admin as the union executive on behalf of the 43rd Executive Council. I reach out to the administration. They gave me a listening ear. I meet them in a management meeting. But thank God they were able to give me a listening ear. I raised the concern. It was so much so they take it as a serious concern rather. So they came out, they leave the management meeting, they respond to me, they ask if I can find out the EC. But before finding out the EC, I come across with so many challenges because the new appointed EC is someone whom I'm not familiar much with. You understand? Because before this election came, we have a meeting that is Star Executive and the GCSU Executive. We were called at Mr. Madam's, that is the Vice Principal Office, to have a discussion regarding to the new EC selection, because we believe that there's a traditional EC that have exist for more than 2-3 years and it has been conducting free and fair election. So that EC should have been given the chance to go and conduct this election. But the Star, they claim that they have organized what we call CRC, that is they have conduct CRC, that is a commission that review their constitution, meaning they are no more going with the old constitution. And in that constitution, it's a mandatory upon them to have their own EC. But now when they put this to us, the time that they organized their CRC, we are not involved, we are not put through. You understand? And as mandated by the 2019 GCSU constitution is that each and every sub-association or society that preside over the Gambia College or that preside within the Gambia College, once they have a constitutional action plan, should be submitted for the GCSU for vetting. But they do not do that. So when we realize that they have a new constitution and they come with an EC, now they are requesting for the EC office, for the SU to tell their EC to leave the office and allow the Star EC to come in. We said no, that cannot happen, because you cannot just get to an individual, tell them that today you are serving as my EC, tomorrow we want you to leave the office and allow others to come in. So we believe that it's an undermined act, or is going to jeopardize, or is going to, that the individual who is to be told that is going to feel otherwise, that is not good. You understand? So we told them that now what we are going to do, let's sit to the admin, we see a step, because the admin is always ahead of us. Probably if you go to the admin, we can hear 1 or 2 things and know the way forward to move on with. You understand? So when we reach to the admin acknowledged that we cannot just kick out the old, the old EC like that. Those people have experience about election. They have been conducting for more than 5-6 elections, and we have successful election in the history of the Gambia College. So let those people be maintained, and the new EC that is coming, let them learn from the old EC. This was the decision that we get from the admin. But after all, to my surprise, is the old EC that was in office, they were not put through. Later on, the Star Executive, they leave their office and went to the complex and says that their new EC is going to occupy their office. So which they were doing. After occupying the office, so all transactions whatsoever transpired between the two EC, I was not put through. Until yesterday, they claimed that there is a problem that is happening within the campus, and tomorrow the election is going to be postponed and something like that. So I take it as a mandatory upon me to come and see a way forward that I'll put the matter to the admin to ensure that peace prevail within the campus. So that was it.
Okay, we want to put something on record here.
Okay.
That is the procedures that we are taking to select an EC chair. Was it selected by the current executive members, or was it were they selected unanimously by students? We want to know that.
Okay. Whether they were selected by the executive members that is currently serving, or is the general student body that comes together to select the EC, well, that is an answer that I will tell you, that it was selected by the Star Executive. The reason why I will tell you that it was selected by the Star Executive, at the beginning of everything, it was wrong from their side. Because you cannot do things as a sub-association in the absence of the GCSU. You cannot undermine our presence. You go ahead.
And was that part of the constitution that any executive members who come in office to select an EC chair?
No. They have the right and the mandate to review their constitution. That is, they have time to review. I don't know, it's 5 years or 6 years. In every 5 years or 6 years, they can review their constitution. But upon reviewing the constitution, it should be submitted to the GCSU. You understand? We should go and vet it and see if some of their action plans and some of their articles that they have, or some of the articles that are captured in their constitution, is not contradicting the main 29 GCSU constitution. There is the reason why we request for constitution from societies, from clubs, from associations. But now that protocol was not flawed.
Okay, now you're telling me that they've not selected that man based on the constitution, but they have done it because they believe they are in power.
Yeah, probably is how I'll take it. I'm not trying to be biased. I do not belong to any political camp. I'm standing as an independent and a student leader where I'm standing right now. I'm speaking to the students as a student leader, as your assistant secretary general. So whatsoever I'm going to say here, you can hold me accountable. I will say whatsoever I'm going to say is going to be very, very clear. So the selection was done based on their executive, because we were not put through. So even the review of their constitution was automatically wrong. You cannot go ahead with reviewing constitution and undermine. You don't inform, you don't serve, or you don't drop a single letter to the GCSU executive to notify them that yes, we are going for constitutional review. So after reviewing, even if they are not going to put us through the process, but after reviewing, they should take that constitution and bring it back. But now after they have reviewed everything, when we get to the admin acknowledge that now the work that they have carried out cannot just be thrown into the dustbin like that. We acknowledge that it's okay, but now the constitution is going to stand, let it stand, but the new EC that they form, they do not have experience. So to avoid violence in future and problems like this, let them work with the old EC, the ones that have already get experience. So those one will have guided, will have get to the stage that we are in today. But those protocols were not observed. They believe that they can stand and do everything on their own, and this is what they have been doing at the beginning of everything. But I believe from now on, we'll involve or we'll talk to the admin and see a way forward that the union as an independent body to come out with it all easy and stand to conduct, because as long as the sub association and its executive cannot manage the problems or the conflicts that are arising within the association, then we, the student union body, will come out, will reach out to the admin to ensure that we see a way forward in organizing an EC and a committee that will take care and conduct this election that is being postponed today.
Yes, we've witnessed the other camp accepted to be part of the electoral process, despite the fact that the EC were selected by the executive members. So that means you succumb to their use, right? Or do you still lose confidence?
Yeah, I understand. To be frank enough, they lodged a complaint, but that was a verbal complaint. You understand? Earlier, when the EC was selected, they claimed that some of them were party militants of the other opposing camp and stuff like that. They lodged a complaint, but that was a verbal complaint. And we are diplomatic, we don't respond to verbal complaints like that. If you want us to step for you, you write to our office. So if you write to our office, that is going to serve as an evidence. But they just talk to us verbally. For us also, we take it as a light issue. You understand? Because they come and claim that they talk to us that they says that the new EC that is formulated are party militants that comes from WIP, meaning they are not happy with the selection of the EC. But later on, we went to the admin. It's why I'm telling you, we went to the admin. The time that we went to the admin says that there's nothing like now dissolving any one EC. Because we, the union, we claim that one EC, that is the appointed star EC, should be dissolved to ensure that the traditional EC continues serving the students. But they claim that that cannot happen and they are not going to dissolve their EC because they have passed through process, they are not going to dissolve them. He said, okay, no problem, fine. If you are not going to dissolve them now, the ones that have experience, let them collaborate with them, let them join hands with the individual to ensure that we have a successful and a peaceful conduct of election. But that was not done. From that particular point of time, they went back to their EC, they do not put the EC into the right trajectory, that their EC to flow. What they told their EC, come and occupy this office, and the EC started occupying the office. Because yesterday, with reference to what I have observed yesterday, when I came to serve some students at the office for clearance, I made the EC chair of staff standing complaining around the EC office that we issued to our EC, you understand? So he was standing there complaining, saying that the ballot boxes should be released, we should give them the ballot boxes, but as long as he did not put me through, and all the process that they have started, we were not put through, even the convention night, none of the union members were invited for the convention night. For the first time in the history of the Gambia College, for a convention day to occur in a sub-association and not a single executive member from the union is being notified or is being invited, this is the first time in the history of the Gambia College. And I believe the violence have started too long, where they have reviewed their constitution without putting on in picture. After reviewing, they select that EC without putting us on picture and stuff like that. So I believe the problem started from the review of the constitution. It's where everything started, and they were not ready to work with the EC that have experience. Because if they were ready to work with the EC that have experience, things will not have, or the matter will not have escalated to this particular level that we are in right now.
Okay. Now that this particular election is cancelled or is postponed for till further notice, if they are to conduct another first elections, are you trying to tell us that they should appoint another EC members apart from this, different from this one?
Okay. I believe as long as there is this conflict that has arisen and the election is postponed, maybe most of the students out there, the general student, the trust that they were having on this current issue, if it is not going to fade away, maybe a percentage of it is going to drop. That will be a drastic drop of percentage when it comes to the trust that they have towards this EC. But I believe it's not the problem of the EC, that is the appointed EC on the start. It's not their problem. They were not put into the right trajectory. What the admin said, they were not fit with the right thing. You understand? So right now, what I'm trying to tell you, my understanding and the step that we are trying to take is that as the union, if an issue or a matter cannot settle under a sub-association level, the union will intercept and ensure that the matter is settled at that particular level. Yeah.
Now, before we take a leave of you, we want to hear your final message, your message to the students, okay?
So I'm saying thank you to everyone out there who was watching. Thank you to Fine TV, to subscribers rather, everyone who is out there, I'm thanking you. This is a great job in this. So anyone who is out there who have doubt or one or two things that is not clear to him or her, I believe if you get to listen to these videos or these audios that we are stating right now, maybe you will have an idea of what has happened today in the morning here, and you will get to digest and evaluate and know what is the right thing right now. So I'm very, very happy for your comment, and I wish you well.
Thank you so much. Welcome back, viewers. We are still on the interview. We've interviewed the EC chair and also the coalition come, and now we are here with the webcam, and the campaign manager is here. We'll allow him to introduce himself, then the interview proper will start.
Yes, thank you very much. My name is Boubacar Gassama, a second year student, advanced diploma secondary. I am the campaign manager of the Mighty Team Webs. Thank you very much, sir.
You are welcome. We were informed that the SDA election should take place today, but to our surprise, it was postponed. Can you please take us through what happened in the morning, please?
Yes, thank you very much. Yesterday, we sent an audio, to be precise, myself. I record an audio and share it across all the WhatsApp platform. So from there, a complaint was lodged to the electoral committee, that is the EC. So at that night, they called me to ask if I was the one who recorded that audio, accompanied with a ballot box token, which I completely denied. I sent an audio, but the ballot token that they said was never accompanied by my audio. So I have no idea how they get those tokens. So we later see a press release from them that the other camp, that is Team Coalition, that they are boycotting the election from today, that they are not going to take part into the election. So from there, we later received another message or another dispatch from the electoral committee, that is the EC, that today the election will take place, that students should come and then vote. So when you come in the morning, students were here on queue voting until 11:40 something. I cannot remember exactly. That we receive an unfortunate information that the VC asked the electoral committee to stop the election process till further notice. So we are still waiting on the feedback from the EC. Now again 6 o'clock, because that will be the closing time. So from there, Team Webs as a camp, we will see what we will take again from there. Thank you very much.
We earlier had interview with some of them. They complained that a video was released where details of these current aspiring candidates were used in that video, and that does not align with the electoral process. So can you please tell us what kind of video was it, and whether that video contained the information of the current aspiring candidates?
Thank you very much. If you have little knowledge, it's very, very dangerous. Perhaps you might think you know very well when you don't know. The current council, that is the current executive members, they are holding a political position, and every political position holders is affiliated to a camp. So if the camp that the current video that you are talking about, who produced the video, perhaps might come from a camp. So if that person happened to see that, okay, these were the people that are representing our camp, because every executive members, you are an ambassador to the camp that you are representing. So if they feel that these are the people that were representing us in the office, people like Hassan Bojang, Usman Koli, and then the list continues. So if they are to take their achievement, make a video, and then share that to the student for them to know that all what the other camp were saying, that these people, they failed us, was never the reality, especially the current students who were not here in the previous trimesters. So they have to understand that this is what has been happening, this is how it has been transparent. So they have to also understand that these leaders that are currently there, they are politically, they are holding a political position, so they should not leave that behind. So this video, yes, I've seen the video. They've put the achievement of Hechi Hassan Bojang, to be precise, during the STA week. All the achievement he has went through, and then the certificates that he received, and then the certificate he has been given to different stakeholders. So I think those are the achievements that they've put into the video. So I see no reason why they should complain about that Hassan Bojang was put in a video to sensitize for the students to vote for Team Webs, because Team Webs, we are known for peace. To be honest, we are known for peace. We are known for respect. We understand that in student leadership you must have respect, and we are also known for commitment. So these are the things that we are trying to show to the students. I think that's all what the video entails and nothing more. Thank
It
you.
was not about how they would be voting. What man told us here was that, that particular person was using the details of current aspiring candidates to portray to the voters how to vote. Have you seen that?
It was an audio. That
Okay.
audio was recorded by me personally, myself. I recorded that audio to our sympathizers.
Or do you use the current aspiring candidates in that audio?
I have never did that. The audio is still in the platforms. If you want, you can have access to the audios, and you can judge from there. Those audios, I don't delete them, and they're still with them. In fact, they've sent it to their page. Personally, I am having an individuals that are in their camp. They respect me, and they are still supporting me, even though they are supporting a camp. But sometimes some students, they do support a camp, but they love certain individuals even though they are not in the same camp with. So I receive different messages from that are just directly from their pages. So I think they're just trying to play games, and that's all. That's all. They're just playing game. Thank you.
Yeah, now that they've postponed, not even postponed, they've they postpone it till further notice, right? And you are telling me that you are waiting for the EC to give any feedback to you guys. Okay, that means no, they have not postponed it.
Postpone it.
Okay, now you've been preparing for so long. How does this thing affect you?
Yes, thank you very much. The reason why I said I am waiting for EC, it's because that's the language. Whenever they say postponed, meaning it should be resumed.
Okay.
So that's why I said we are waiting on EC to know, because the period should start from 8:30 to 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock.
Okay.
So now again 6 o'clock. If we don't receive any information, then we should know the postponed has supersede the day of the election. That is today. Coming back to your question, that is how it affects us as a camp. The amount of money that we've spent into this election, right now, if my mind don't disappoint me, right now I think we've spent over $30,000. Even today, for the lunch, breakfast, and dinner, we spend roughly $7,000 to $8,000 today. So that alone, it cost us a lot. The T-shirts, the suits, the flyers, convention day we've cooked, we spend roughly to $15,000. So all these things are things that cost us a lot. And as a team, so we feel that if this has to be postponed, it's something that is going to affect us. And equally, we have sympathizers that traveled all the way from Munich to come and vote for our people today. And unfortunately, they came late after 12 when the stations were closed. So I think that is also something that we felt for those people. And some in fact come from all the way from Foni to come and then support us. These are the second year students on their teaching practice posting. So I think all these things, it really affect us, to be honest, most especially the classes. It also affects the students. Personally, I am so much concerned with students' education. For 2 weeks, election, plus the convention, and plus all other stuffs, and today all the lectures were interrupted. So I think these are the things. That's why we said they should also continue with this, so that our fellow students that are on campus, that are the first year students and then the final year students, can continue with their classes. I think we have spent a lot with regards to this election, financially, physically, even emotionally. We struggled a lot. So I think that's how it affects us. Thank you.
We were informed that it was the administration that postponed this particular election. So if I have to ask you, did they engage you first before coming into this conclusion?
Yes, thank you very much. I think all the protocols that they followed, to me, it wasn't on track. Could you imagine this is UEG STA election? Even the president of the STA was not informed. Personally, I was the one who put him on alert that this is what is happening, because I received a call from EC chairman that, okay, these people, they have summoned you people to the VC's office for you to come and answer to this call. So from there, I was there and I saw the SU, that is GCSU members, almost 2 to 3 people they were there, plus the other camp, their campaign manager, the deputy campaign manager, and some of their sympathizers. So I asked myself, if I am to go there alone personally, meaning I am not following the protocols. So I consulted the president to know if he is aware of such. So he said no, he was not aware. Then I asked him to come and then see how best he is going to join this meeting. And later, they come and they ask the other camp, that is the team coalition. They call their 2 campaign managers, they call the SU members, and they call the EC members. I was there in the midst of them. So they ignored me. They never called for my attention. So they left me behind and then they went in to have the meeting. So from there, I asked the EC chairman, I said, personally, you called me to come and attend this meeting. So hence they called these people and they didn't call me. Is it okay for me to go? He said, yes, you can go. So that's how I excused myself. And then from there, I come and then I joined the people to continue coordinating the election. So then from there, I later received this information from the EC chair that verbally, it wasn't in fact written, verbally that the election has postponed for further notice, which gave me a very tough time because I didn't feel happy with that verdict. So I have to meet them again, to have meeting with them to know what is their stand. But yet they cannot conclude on that because they said if the instruction was from the at least head of school, they can see where they're going to meet. But this was a round table conversation, conference sort of, where you have all the stakeholders. You have where you have the head of school, you have the principal lecturers, you have the how do you call it, the VC, how do you call it, Madam Dao, you have Dr. Abubakar Jallo, and then the list continues to the higher rank. So I think they cannot have any other option but to succumb to what they were asked to do, that is to postpone the election. And it doesn't stop there. The registrar, that is Mr. Yabo, Madam Dao, and then the deputy VC, they all came around to check or to suspend the election in front of the students. They asked the EC members to close all the polling stations. So that was not okay with me. I was not happy with that, and I think that shouldn't have been the situation. They should at least inform us as a camp because they only heard one side of the story, so they didn't hear anything from us. And they said they are going to take on to their they are going to investigate the matters. I wonder how are they going to investigate when they only hear one side of the story. Perhaps if they also called me and they hear from me, then from there they can know where to start. But I was never called, and our camp, nobody was ever called to come and then make 1 or 2 clarification with regards to such. So I think that is a big disrespect to our camp from the authority. So I think that is the reason why we said we are waiting for the EC. Hence, they are the one responsible for this election. In any circumstances, student election, personally, I felt like it's our responsibility as student body to hold our election free, fair, and no interference from the administration. So if the admin, they're trying to suppress the EC members on their responsibility, I think that is not fair to them from the authority as well. Yes, thank you.
Yeah, some of them complain of lack of transparency in the selection of the EC chair. They said, it's the current executive members that selected the EC chair without their notice. What do you have to say on that?
I think I have to repeat what I've said earlier, that little knowledge is very dangerous. You always think you know better when you don't know. When it's time for EC, we always call them UEGSTA Electoral Committee. When it was GC, they addressed them as GCSU how to call it, EC. So it's the responsibility and it's the right of the current council to establish their own EC. And if they said they are not informed, that is a story.
So that is because part of the constitution that it should be selected in that way, right?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And then what's supposed to be done, that has already been established. That is to say, the council, they've created a link. They said, if anybody is interested to be part of the EC, all the positions were there. So you are the one who should take your telephone at your own convenience time, at your own comfortable position, to apply for any position that you want, which was done. And then from there, those who applied, the result was published, and they called for an interview. After the interview, which was very, very transparent, after the interview, they bring them back, and then they give the final result of those that are selected, or those that are lucky to be selected rather. So if they are saying they are not involved, I am not getting the point. How do they want to be involved in this setting? Is it that they want to be the body to select the EC because they are not star?
Okay, I want to put something on record here.
Okay.
How was it done? Was it done like openly that each student or any student can apply, or the easy chair just pick anybody and that put it in that position?
Even
To
the
make it clear.
even the EC chair applied the link. The link was shared across all the 15 STA platform. 16. Star is currently having 16 STA pages. The information was shared across, irrespective of your program. You can apply any position that you think you are comfortable at.
As long as you are a student.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So from there, when that happened, they called for an interview. And during that interview, it was very transparent. So then after that, they select the people that cross the interview. I think this is the normal procedures at any level, even not only about University of Education, even national level. If they are to apply on certain things, they have to open application. If you are interested to apply, then from there you have to go through certain scrutiny to know whether you are fit for that position. If you are fit to be there, then you will be given the position, and that's the same procedure that they have been that they did rather. So I see no reason why they will say it was not fair. And aside from that, when they were interviewing the candidates, this is an information that I received from my own candidates. This was put to them whether they have entrusted the members of the EC with that position for them to carry on the election, which they said yes. And I am foreseeing that this question was not only limited to my candidates, it across all the candidates. So their candidates, they also recognize this electoral commission as a neutral body. So if they are to come today and then said we don't trust them anymore, I think they failed them, because they trust them from the first place, and today they are coming back telling students that we don't trust them. I think that is something that we should not do as a leader. You have to be so much mature in your dealings. You have to be so much professional in whatsoever you are doing. So I think that is lacking, and we need to correct that. Yes, thank you.
Now that the election is postponed and there is no duration that their investigation will end at this particular day or time. So what are your own, what have you discussed so far with regard when they say they want to organize first elections again? Are you come prepared?
Yes, we are prepared, because I will always say this: our camp is the favorite camp in the University of Education, the Gambia, to be precise, School of Education. It doesn't matter how long will they postpone the election to. Even I can give you this assurance for free. Even if they have to call us 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock at night for us to come and vote, we will still win this election. There is no molecule of doubt in that. But I just don't want to put the cart before the horse. Our camp wouldn't take any decision for now. We respect the EC because we believed in them. So we want to allow them to do their work, and then we should moderate ourselves, comport ourselves as matured individual, as the competent candidates rather, to moderate ourselves and then calm the situation down, and then continue with the environment how we are. If you can get to our environment, you will realize that even our candidates, they are not sad about this. Initially they were, but now they overcome that. So I think that is the level of maturity we have over any other camp. So right now I cannot say what is our plan for now, because we don't want to, like I said, we don't want to put the cart before the horse. So we just have to wait the EC first. Whatsoever they decide, then we see where we will start it from. If they said anything that has to do with fair and transparency, which I believe they would, then we have to go by that. So this is my take for now as the campaign manager. As we all know, that Team Webs is the most decorated and the most structured team so far, because we are the only camp that have an executive body. So those executive bodies are responsible to make decision in such level. So I think we will list to them and they will communicate to us. Yes, thank you.
Now, before we draw down the curtains, we will now give you the floor to share your final message to the viewers and the general student body of UEG.
Yes, thank you very much. I think that this is a platform not to only talk to the students, but I think to talk to the viewers, irrespective of the institution or wherever you are attending. This is the unforeseen circumstances that we are experiencing right now at our campus here, that our election has been interrupted by a camp, and currently our camp are still in webs. We are not happy with this, and what we are to say is, let our sympathizers be patient, and let them be matured in their dealings. We never known for violence, so let's advocate for the peace, and then wait for the EC's decision at the end of the day, that is 6 o'clock today, when the stations will be closed, because this was the message that we received from the EC, that the election will start from 8:30 to 6 o'clock. So after 6 o'clock, we are expecting another news from them. If it's okay, then we go by it. And I am very much optimistic that the students of the University of Education has seen what is going right now, and this is not something that is fair to them. They have to make sure, let them allow the students to decide on their own, not to mingle with the admin to do certain things that is not okay with the student. For those that were here to support and then to vote for Team Webs, I ask for your indulgence. Please forgive us. This was never our plan. It was not something that we were foreseeing. It just happened. So we just want to ask for your apology. So please forgive us. And inshallah, we are going to continue. And we promise that we will reach to the promised land, and we are going to celebrate this victory together. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you. Viewers, now we are with the main man of this star, the president himself. It's not a new person to this platform. No introduction. I'll just go straight. Mr. Bojang, we've seen or we've witnessed a very unfortunate event here today. So we've realized that the admin has actually cancelled or postponed the election till further notice. How does that make you feel as the president of STA?
Thank you for the question. It's difficult to describe how I feel right now. I am so disappointed that this happened, and I wish it never happened, but it happened. So we are trying to navigate through it to see what we can do to come out of it in a win-win situation. Yeah, but it happened. I wish the admin had the opportunity to carry through thorough investigation, whereas elections are allowed to roll, and pending the results of the investigation, the results will be pronounced. But we all know the tradition and cultures of student leadership in colleges and in universities, that it is abnormal for such pronouncements to be made, but it happened. When we are students, we have to stay together, and we will continue to stay together to ensure we preach peace, we breathe peace, and we live in peace.
Are you surprised to see this happening?
I am surprised, to be honest. I think the whole of this thing started yesterday in the night, though I was not aware because I slept early. In the early mornings, I saw a message circulating that the ballot paper was released by the campaign manager of the Team Webs, and trying to communicate to the electorate to vote and vote in a correct way, something like that. So when I came to school, I think I need to register my disappointment with regards to this whole issue. I am the president of the Ninth Executive Council, and I believe it is the Ninth Executive Council that appointed the Electoral Commission. So whatever must have happened, the complaint should pass through us as well. We should be called to this. I should be called to this. But first of all,
Do you feel sidelined?
oh yes, obviously, what I felt right now is that the office virtually seen as irrelevant, especially when it comes to decision making on matters that affect the students under my care, that is the School of Education. Every student under the School of Education is under my care, and anything that happens there should come to me, should come to my notice, and any decision that is taken, my opinion matters. But I met a sitting in Dr. Baldo's office, the principal lecturer, academics, and I happened to be there by chance. And the topic of discussion was already on road.
You are not informed.
I was not informed of this.
Was any of your members, your committee members, were informed?
No. None of my committee members were informed of this. The Ninth Executive Council, from me to the president to the other ministers, none was informed of this. These are all things that happen. That is when problems happen like this. It's very important to get to the president, to sit with him, the custodian of that particular institution or that particular association, to discuss with them, to discuss with him or her, to know what happened, how it happened. The genesis of problems should be known. The evolution of problems should be known, so the clarifications are made. After the clarifications, then decisions are taken. But I saw that my office was never consulted, but I happened to be there by chance, and I put it to them what I have to say when the story was explained to me that the ballot paper was released, and they felt like it was the campaign manager of Team Webs, that is Mr. Gassama. And I believe if that was the case, the EC has the right to investigate. If they investigate, but first they need to notice us that this is exactly what is happening, and the message came in the night, it was unofficial. After noticing of the problem, they should carry on with the investigation. After the investigation, they should report back to us and also the registry, the office in charge of the students. But according to the EC chairman, the message of complaint came, and in a few minutes also a message of another communique also came that the election is boycotted, meaning there is prejudice already, meaning that was a conclusion, and students were communicated across the platform that a particular camp is boycotting the election based on this in A, B, C. So this is exactly what happened. So I'm not sitting there. I had to join because it's my interest. But I put to them that elections are heavily spent on. So I advise for the elections to continue, and the investigations also continue. And then whatever is realized, at the end of the day, the results can be withheld pending the results of the investigation. That is what should happen, even at national level. At national level, when issues like this come, investigations are carried, and if that particular individual is sworn into office, the EC has the right to rescind and go for by-election again, if possible. So that's a disappointment. And another sitting was also called. I was not informed, and that is at the Vice Chancellor's office. Only for my one of my brother, that is Gassama, the campaign manager of Team Webs, called me and said there is a sitting at the Vice Chancellor's office. Are you aware? I said no, and I believe that I should have been the first bus stop. Yes, I should have been put in picture, ask regards to what happened, how it happened, and then we can now see what to do. But all this never happened. But it's okay. When you are a leader, there are things you have to go through. We've gone through this, but we are not sleeping. We are discussing, and then we will officially write to the management. We will officially write to the students. We will communicate, inshallah.
Some of them complain that they are not happy with the way that EC chair was selected. Can you please take us through how you selected the EC chair?
Thank you so much for that correction. At least every 5 years, the Student Teacher Association should review its constitution, and that happened in my tenure. For that being the case, we reviewed the constitution together with the students, and there was a provision, a clause there that the Student Teachers Association, being the biggest association within the University of Education, the Gambia, formerly Gambia College, should have its own electoral commission. It was approved and then adopted as well. So when the time came for the creation of the electoral commission, a communique was made and shared to all the 16 platforms of the student teachers, and that it reads, all the interested students should apply, irrespective of your program of study, your ethnicity, your race, your gender. They are all qualified to apply. Applications were made. Students applied via the Google link, and the secretary of the 9th Executive Council, Mr. Bakari Kamara, is the custodian and given me the feedback. I think 27 people applied. 27 students applied, and but they were all invited for the interviews. Unfortunately, only 15 turned out for the interview. So out of the 15 students that came for the EC interview, they were all interviewed rigorously and robustly to ensure that they fit the position. And that was done. One was dropped, 14 were selected, because according to the provision, the EC should compose of 14, that is executive members, that is the chairman, the vice chair, the secretary, the IPRO, and you also have the treasurer, and you have the 4 commissioners and the 4 technical and logistic team, so that their work could be easier, because we want them to be as independent as possible, so that the technical and logistic team will now be responsible for the other arrangements. Yeah, thereby they will be completely free, and that was what happened. So it was free, transparent, and once the publication was made, the interview was made, the publication was made again, and to inform the general students that after the application process and the interview process, these are the members of the EC chairman, EC commission, electoral commission, and they were sworn in as well, officially taken to offices, introduce them, so that the relevant offices that will be working together with will get to know them, starting from the registrar's office, our head of school, principal, lecturers, and so on. So that has been a tradition, and that was done. So if anyone should say that it is not independent, it is not free, it is not transparent, it is not fair, then I tend to question what is transparency, what is fairness. Maybe the person can answer that question.
So was that part of the constitution that everything should be rested in your hand?
Yes, it is the 9th Executive Council. It is the council that should.
You found it there.
Yes, it is a clause that is approved and adopted during the Congress. The students are happy with it. That is why the Constitution was approved, and there is a provision there that I and my council fulfilled, and that there was no crime in doing that. In releasing the Google link for students to apply, which they did, those that have the interest, and we ensure that if you are to come, you don't have to be affiliated to any political party. That was strictly monitored, and we thank God that we don't have anyone.
Current EC is not part of any political party.
No, yeah, they are not part of, because we also monitored them to see your previous activities, to see if you are one way or the other. But luckily for us, most of them who applied are from the civic chapter and peace ambassadors for peer health. They are known to be referees, especially when there is elections. They are normally here to observe the election, to ensure that there is free, fair, and transparent election. So almost all of them are from the civic chapter and the peace ambassadors.
If they say they've already lost confidence in this particular issue, will you advocate them for the selection of another EC?
No, there cannot be a selection of another EC because the criteria for selection, the process for selection as per the constitution was followed duly to the latter. Everything was done in the open. Communications were made in the public through the platform student community, and those that were interested applied. So those that applied were scrutinized as well. So that is what we can do. That is how much we can do, and we are able to follow the constitution to the latter. So saying here we lost confidence, I can see that to be subjective agenda, a subjective agenda rather.
Now that this order election is cancelled or postponed till further notice, what next?
I'm speaking here on behalf of the council, the 9th Executive Council. I'm the president and the leader of all the students here at the University of Education, the Gambia. I can assure them that the truth and peace will prevail. We have been transparent, determined, and peace-loving executive. The student can attest to that. We've been there for the students. We will always be there with the students, irrespective of trying moments like this. These are trying moments. A lot of students' hearts are heavy. We empathize with them. But I can assure them the 9th Executive Council will work out something. They will work out something. We have to face the administration or talk to them, because I will have to voice out my dissatisfaction again that the 9th Executive Council under my leadership, under my jurisdiction, was intruded unfairly. Decisions were made, and my opinion was tampered on. But the studentship should be rest assured that as peace-loving as we are cooperating, we are going to write for questions, and we are going to write for actions. And until then, we are not experiencing any election for now. That is also a pronouncement I am giving for the meantime, that elections are to be decided by the students, for the students, and with the students. So if a fuzzy thing is noticed or observed, you follow due protocols. That is, you write and present. When you write and present, you wait for the investigation panel to be established. The issue should be investigated, and the report should be given to relevant authorities to take necessary actions. So, but we did not observe all this. Election was tampered on, and it was stopped. We will take actions, but in the proper way. Inshallah.
Finally, Mr. President, you now have the chance to give your final message to the STA student body.
Thank you so much. This is a message I'm giving to all my brothers and sisters. I have been your president for technically 14 months now. It's unfortunate that this institution is going through transformation, heavy transformation, and the institution needs your support. It needs your cooperation. And for that being the case, with regards to this, I think I am appealing for complete decorum, calmness, and there is no cause for alarm. You will be given the opportunity to decide who you want to be in the office. I can promise you, and I can assure you, it is going to be a peaceful election. It's going to be an election that is fit for purpose. It is going to be an election that will speak your voice through your votes. I have been there for you through thick and thin. I'll continue to be there for you through thick and thin. But as I said, whatever is predestined to happen must happen. We might not have controls over that. But let us not allow our emotions to control us. Let us be the ones to control our emotions. Let us not preach violence. Let us not demonstrate unnecessarily. You have a leader that is here to speak for you, and that we will speak and will speak in the right way. And you can be assured that we will have a peaceful environment, the family that we love, the brotherlyhood that we have been having in our classes, in the campuses. We'll continue to preach for that to happen. So there is no cause for alarm. It's disappointing, I agree, and I'm taking wholeheartedly the blame for all what has happened. And but we can assure you, we will work on this and remedy. We will work with admin to ensure that something is done, and we are also carrying our own investigation. We are carrying our own investigation, and I believe we are almost at the tail end of this investigation. And the language spoken by the VC I've heard clearly, and we are still trying to analyze issues. But I believe before 6 to 7 to 8 p.m., we should be able to make a befitting communicate to you, our beloved students. Like I always say, let us demonstrate peace, peace, and peace, nothing else. What peace cannot solve, nothing else can solve it. That is the message I'm giving to you. But rest assured that we will ensure once again that we transit peacefully, inshallah.
Thank you so much, Mr. President.
Sure.